Thanks for
Our,
having me.
our first question is with Jay Anderson from Kate Cypress.
Thanks very much, and welcome back, Maurice. A couple of questions for me. First of all, when you get the call for this matchup and you hear Gian Villante as the opponent, who's not known as a heavyweight in the UFC, has been outside of it, what was your reaction?
Doesn't really matter to me. John Villante played football with my brother in college at Hofstra, so um, he was probably a much bigger individual prior to. He can perform at a bigger size because he has for probably a lot of his career at linebacker. Um, so I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a light heavyweight coming up. Obviously, he feels like he can be here and he can make a difference. So that's neither here nor there. I just don't like to say no. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. Did your cousin have any stories about him? Do you know him well, or
It's my brother. It's my
big brother?
brother. It's my big brother. Yeah. Um, he did, but this is a whole nother game. So Jean Vellante is a cool dude. I saw him yesterday, happy, all smiles like I am. Seems like he deals with fight week like I do because this is just our job. We're going to go in there and smash each other's face, and that's just our job. And with a smile afterwards.
Speaking of fight week, what has this one been like for you? Because I imagine it's pretty strange. You're a lot more restricted on what you can do. So how are you finding it?
Shit, you know me, I'm a wild boy at heart, so this has been kind of good. I stay in my room, I COVID free. That's the way to be, baby. So it's easy not to go out because I know what the end game is. It's getting my hand raised and it's putting my family in a better place and it's moving out to Albuquerque. So it's an easy choice for me to follow the rules and stay here and be able to fight because if that COVID test comes back positive when I get tested again, I'm not fighting. So it's very simple.
And last one for me, you had a lot of success when you first entered the UFC, three straight wins. Now on a bit of a slump. Have you changed anything up, made any adjustments, or is this a case of stay the course and trust in what got you here?
Um, you know, uh, I switched camps, so instead of being a Factory X, I'm at Jackson-Wink, and I'm actually moving out to Albuquerque to be there full time. Um, no, it's just staying the course. I'm learning on the biggest stage to learn on. I don't have a lot of experience. I didn't grow up in combat sports experience. I started later in my career after I lost 100 pounds, and I kind of just jumped into the sport. So, I made it to the UFC very early, and I'm learning on the biggest stage, especially with Alexi Olenek, right? That was my fight to lose. Okay. And I lost the fight. Why? Because I made a bunch of mental errors because I was having too much fun. I enjoy this. I love it. Like that's the freest time of my life. But sometimes you just got to stay in the game. And with those veterans, you make a couple of mental errors, and guess what? That'll cost you a fight, and it did. So I learned the hard way.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck this weekend. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Who's next?
Our next question is from Mike Heck. Mike, you have been unmuted.
How's it going, Maurice?
How you doing, big homie?
I'm doing great, man. You mentioned the Alexi Olenek fight, and it didn't go your way. You said you made some mental errors, but I think in a way, a lot of people were impressed with your ability to scramble and get out of tough situations. Were you able to take any silver lining out of that fight at all?
A lot. I know why I missed some of the head kicks. I was trying to take his head off. I was trying to highlight reel his ass, and sometimes it's like watching Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson, right? Gaethje had to stay composed in those moments of craziness where he could have finished that fight, and he did that. And it was me just, I need to stay composed and stick to the game plan in those moments of, getting caught up and just having fun and wanting to see him just highlight reel him and watch him slide down the cage. So um, I forgot the question, but it's all right.
So it sounds like you did find some silver lining in the fight.
Oh, the silver lining. Oh, no, I mean, I go back and look at like my grappling, right? I'm a three-stripe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, and I take pride in the fact that I do Jiu-Jitsu and a gi, and I love it. I wasn't afraid to grapple with one of the best in the UFC. As a matter of fact, I use that to scramble to get up versus just trying to get up and having him stuff that. So my striking was on point. He threw a bunch of overhands. I was able to evade those and give him my hands back, and that's what made him want to take me down. You look at him going to Fabricio, he used his hands, right? He wasn't able to bully me like that. So, but ultimately, he was a better man that night. He won, and my hat's off to Alexi, and I wish him all the best and success on this run he's making. So.
I'm sorry if this is a redundant question. I know you've done a lot of media and you've probably been asked this before, but I haven't asked you yet. So why the move to Jackson-Wink? What inspired that?
I was at Factory X, and it was just not a good fit for me. It was just not a good fit. They got a great program. Mark Montoya is a world-class coach. They got world-class coaches, great training partners. I met cool people, but a couple things. I didn't really have heavyweights to work with there. And we just had a difference of opinion. So, when I took this fight, we decided I was going to stay home for this camp. And when Brock Larson, he left and he went to go work with Rocco because Rocco just fought Neil. I was like, shit, what am I going to do? I can't stay in Minnesota. Like, I could have done it myself, but sometimes you can't push yourself as hard as a coach or your training partners or somebody else is going to push you. So the wife wanted to get out of Minnesota and clear our head. We had a lot of family issues. And, Juan Adams made it possible, talked to Coach Wink, and we drove 24 hours straight with my kids and went there, and they accepted me with open arms and my whole family. And that week and a half, I planned on staying there. I ended up staying there all the way up until literally the day before I flew out here. And, we're moving out there when I get back. So that's another reason why there's no going out and enjoying the strip that's kind of open because, I need to move my family so I can be a world champion. And Jackson-Wink is the place that's going to make me that world champion. It's full of killers. So we got, 5, 6 heavyweights. You got some light heavyweights, and then you got the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So, and then you got two legendary coaches in the game. So how can you lose if you just follow the course and listen to the guidance from all those, great MMA minds.
So what sort of changed in I wouldn't say like your overall style or anything, because it's hard to change everything in one short training camp, but what's changed in you? What have you learned at Jackson-Wink that maybe you didn't learn at Factory X or anywhere else that's put you in this mindset to move there full time now?
I learned a lot of things at Factory X, actually. I took a lot of valuable lessons from Factory X. I became a better person outside of the cage, a better man. I started, he had us reading books, but what would have changed? I guess you're going to have to wait to see Saturday night what would have changed.
And then the last thing for me, it was sort of mentioned from the first gentleman, you're coming in on back-to-back losses. This is a huge fight for you, going in for new camp and all that stuff. You've said many times, you want to be a world champion. You want to put yourself in position to take care of your family. Do you feel like your back's against the wall here, that this is a must-win fight for you?
It's always a must-win fight. Your back's always against the wall. So I'm on a 2-fight skid. I'm still going to go out there and do my thing, win, lose, or draw. You're going to get the best Crochet Boss you've seen. And as you guys see my fights, you see I'm getting better and better and better and better. So, my thing is getting 1% better every day. We may get 50% better Saturday night, though.
And John seems to be like the perfect matchup for you to do that, correct?
Anybody's the perfect matchup. Anybody can get it, just to be sure. I mean, everybody thinks just because he's a light heavyweight that I have some sort of advantage. This guy, he's not going to move up to heavyweight if he doesn't feel he can be successful here. He's fought at heavyweight before, right? He just decided to move down to light heavyweight. I think I'm going to get the best Gian Villante we've seen yet. And if it's anything less than that, that's on him. That's not on me. All I can think about is the things that I can control.
Well said, sir. Good chat with you. All the best on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
That's all we have for you today, Maurice.
That's all you got for me? I'm appalled. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the time.